Hello, everyone. Welcome to the collective reading. I don't do these very often, but I do think I'm going to do a little more of them in April. So definitely check out the schedule when it comes out nearing the end of March. And it will be in my community tab, which I'm using a little more often. So definitely have a peek into that. And hello, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. It's so great to have you here. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with me today. I really appreciate your company. And with these collective readings, I kind of download messages that I receive in meditations, and I just kind of get little intuitive hits sometimes throughout my day that don't necessarily make sense to me. So I write them down and then I put them all out into this collective reading. So hopefully it lands and is a message for somebody. And then what we'll do after I talk about the kind of the symbols that I got in my mind's eye, we'll get into a whole bunch of oracle card pulls, and then we'll clarify with some tarot cards. So the first thing I saw, and I'll share the drawings from my sketchbook, is a lock, and it was locked. There was no key. It was just an old metal padlock. And then that somehow, I zoomed out and I was looking at a horse stable, and it looked like the horse stable was locked. So there could be some sense of you wanting to run and move with something, but you can't because you are locked in the stable. And so it might just be, I get a timing thing, and I'm getting this as a collective energy thing as well, where people are having a difficult time moving forward. They can't move, they can't they put effort in, but a little is kind of coming back to them. They're seeing little results, and it feels like you're just kind of putting stuff into the void as well. I also saw in a recent dream I had 888 megahertz, lots of eights. So that is a number of manifestation, communication, movement, and action. So again, we have this feeling and desire to put things into action and to manifest the things that we want. But there seems to be difficulty in taking that movement forward. There was also a school bus. I was actually driving a school bus. So that could be a me thing, but it could also be a collective thing where, you might be leading people or kind of moving people into a specific direction. You could be a leader of some kind. You could be a boss, a manager. You could be running your own business. So there is a sense of leadership here, and you are kind of guiding other people or leading other people, and moving them from one place to another. So you could be a healer as well. You could be a counselor. You could be somebody, on the level of moving people from one area to another. And then I had some really strange kind of cryptic letters that I couldn't quite spell out, but I could see there was a lot of line work, and I could only make out LA. So LA is something that could be relevant to somebody. It could be somebody's initials. It could be, you could be traveling to Los Angeles. But these words or these letters were spelled out. I feel like they were symbols within themselves, but they didn't necessarily mean anything to me. So it's almost like a druid language or something. I'm not sure, but it was on a wall and there was a whole bunch of letters, and I could only, when I kind of came to and started drawing this out, I couldn't quite draw out what I was seeing because I didn't understand what the letters were, because they were almost like multiple lines and shapes coming together, and LA was kind of the only thing that made sense out of the 5 or 6 letters that I saw. So now that I've given you those little downloads, and I'd be interested to hear if something resonated in those. But for now, let's get into the collective reading and to see what comes out. So let's get some cards to open the reading. We'll just get one. We'll see what comes out, but we'll get one. Okay, we have the candle, and it is associated with the element of fire. And so this could be a new beginning. It also gives me very hermit vibes. So it's like following the light, your own internal light. The intuition, and maybe you're moving through a bit of a dark period of time now. So it's kind of that light is the only thing that you can really rely on. Let's see what else comes out. Spirit, message for the collective. One oracle card for the collective today. One card for the collective. I think those two were coming out. So we have Summer, bask in joy and light. Interesting. And Air Guardian, shift your perspective. Let's get some more and let's see what happens. Collective message for the collective. So please, Spirit. One card for the collective, please. Interesting. Maybe I'll pull that one. It was upside down. Release. Actually, are a number of these upside down? I'm going to pull this one because it's the only one that's upside down. Yeah. Release and patience. Don't we hate it when the cards tell us that? So to show you that. Both of these, there's a sense of release. As the water kind of flows down, also a sense of flow here. So maybe you need to shift your perspective for something here. Have a little patience in that process. And summer seems to be, this summer card seems to be coming out in a lot of readings that I've done over the last few days. So I feel like summer could be the time when you start to see action or movement, and now is the time to kind of settle into a bit of discomfort or some a darker period, and kind of use this time to shift your perspective on something, maybe even release something or heal something here. But I think patience is required, because if this is kind of where we're gonna see the harvest or the fruits of our labor, then we do and we will need to kind of go with the flow and have patience until such time that we start to see that. And because this is air, there's also a sense of communication. So there could be different ways you could be communicating as well as thinking. There could be a mindset shift that needs to be kind of tackled at this time. And there could be some thoughts, some limiting beliefs that you could be journaling about or kind of working on as you're kind of moving into this energy of hurry up and wait. So yeah, learning about your way of thinking, and to recognize that not all you see is exactly the way you see it. Sometimes our mind can play games and our perceptions can be wrong. And if you're being challenged or you feel there's a lack of clarity or direction, there's a good chance that the way you're thinking or what you're focused on has a lot to do with how things are looking. So go beyond any limits you've set for yourself and recognize that the way you see the world is how you experience the world, and opportunities are moving in your direction eventually, but they will open up for you if you are ready to do some internal work here to support them. So yeah, it's all in how we see things, and maybe that's why the candle's out here as well, is because maybe you're not seeing things clearly. You're only seeing kind of what's right in front of you, and that could just be where the collective is at right now, is they can only see one step ahead of them. They can't look out into the future at this time, because again, I get that kind of hurry up and wait feeling where everybody wants to move, but this is a time to pause and reflect. So it's about shifting your perspective in this moment to be able to see things differently when things pick back up again. So I'm curious what other oracle cards will come out from this deck. This is like a literal handmade deck that I created from illustrations I've done over the years. I want to say the glasses are going to come out. Or maybe somebody here is wearing glasses just because of we're talking about perception and seeing and thinking. This one has a hard time doing the flippers just because of the cardstock, so there we go. Time to tune in. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Time to tune in or tune out. You know, when we're tuning into one thing, you know, we can't tune into multiple frequencies. We can only tune into kind of one at a time. So it's, and maybe that 88 or 88.8 or 888 megahertz is kind of the symbolism of frequency, and we can only tune into one frequency at a time, in the context of radios as well, but also in the context of how we think. So if we're focused on a specific way of thinking and even a specific way of doing, then that's kind of the frequency that we're going to vibrate at. So how can we shift that perspective to be a little different or a little more helpful, or I don't know, maybe not so doom and gloom? It might be a little tough if, you know, we're trying to, that does require a significant shift sometimes if we've done things or thought of things or thought in a certain way for so long. You know, how do you make that mindset shift from one way of thinking to another? But, you know, I would encourage you to explore that just to see what's possible. And I've shuffled the cards on these ones. Let's get a couple. Could we get messages for the collective, please, with the tarot? Thank you. Yeah, lots of big stuff happening in this moment of darkness, I feel, or in this moment of being trapped. Trapped in a cage or not being able to move forward. I feel like you do want to move forward with great, you know, movement, as a horse does. So we have the Judgment, the Fool, and we have the Queen of Wands in the reversal position. So there is a lack of confidence here with the Queen of Wands in reverse. However, I feel like you're really stepping into some kind of calling here, and you are, and this is the process of getting rid of something significant that no longer serves you for the future. And this is a moment to do that. Shedding the old skin, tuning into a different frequency, and significantly shifting your perspective. So, yeah, releasing. With the Release in the Judgment card, that is about release. It is about releasing of an old self to step into something new. And then we have this Fool card, which is a card of new beginnings, a card of taking an adventure, getting out of your comfort zone and stepping into what you didn't think was possible. Now it's the time to get into those zones of discomfort, to see what's possible, to see how things can shift and move and change, rather than kind of staying where you are when you kind of feel a little nudge to do something else, to do something different here. But there is, with the Queen of Wands being in reverse, there's a sense of you not having the confidence. So this could help you build the confidence that you feel lacking. There could be a sense of imposter syndrome here, as well as you're not feeling very kind of rooted or grounded in who you are. You may have some feelings of, I'm not enough, or I don't know if I have what it takes to do what I really want to do. But again, it's about shifting that perception of yourself and really having patience in that process to be able to see the confidence that you've had in the past. Where have you felt confident in the past? Where have you seen successes? What are the strengths that you have? Kind of tuning into those frequencies and understanding your worth, understanding the value and the ethics and the strengths that you bring to friendships, to your work, to life. But again, because we've got two major arcanas out, I feel like this is a significant period of time where you can spend making those shifts, because it's going to change your outcomes and your opportunities in the future here. We're just talking about opportunities. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and it did come in sideways, so we will take that into account, because sideways energy is kind of like, I don't know if I should do this or not. There's a little bit of uncertainty there. Or there's an opportunity that you're moving towards new opportunity, but there needs to be a little bit more of a shift or adjustment to be able to really take advantage of this opportunity here. So if you feel like you don't have the confidence to take up on a new position, or apply to a specific job position, why don't you give it a try and see what happens with what you currently have? Or, I would, is there a skill that you can maybe attain that will help you gain a little bit more confidence in attaining a specific job title or job position? But it's kind of like feeling the fear and doing it anyways, and really standing strong in that belief within yourself. And that's what the Fool is about, is kind of feeling that fear and, yeah, I'm going to do it anyways and take that risk and see what happens. And I'm not going to let my lack of confidence or my imposter syndrome keep me stuck in place, or keep telling me that I can't. Going back to the opening where I shared some of the drawings, that could be the reason why you're not seeing progress, although there could be a number of other reasons as well. The economy is crap, and I feel like the energetic collective energy right now is everybody's kind of stuck in place, and we aren't seeing progress. We're kind of being pushed into a moment of pause, a moment of reflection, and a moment where we can really assess where we're at personally, spiritually, professionally, so that we can be a little bit more ready when things start to move again. So this could be your opportunity, but also with this opportunity, it's going to take commitment and a little more work. So over a long period of time, and it could be a slow build. So I feel like you need to be ready for that as well. It's not just, one day we have all of the money that we've ever needed and everything that we've ever needed. This is about taking those steps and continuing to show up for that effort, committing to that work, and committing to see growth and improvement. And that could be personal improvement as well. And we have the Star in reverse. Yeah, so you don't really know how this is going to turn out. And usually we never do. It's a lot of the time we have to take the risk to see what happens. And, maybe your goals are shifting, maybe your wishes are shifting, and maybe you're really unsure. You don't really have the faith that you need to take this leap. But I feel like the feeling is that you need to release the idea that you're going to fail, because not only is failure inevitable, but it doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter if you fail, because you are going to walk away with lessons to be able to improve next time. So in that, there's a success. There's a sense of gleaning successes from those failures. And so I think the advice here is to have faith in those things that are calling you, that intuitive pull, those things that you've always desired to do. Tune into the frequency of, okay, I've obtained this, and how do I feel? How do I act? How do I behave in this particular environment or position or experience? How do I show up? And embody those things and tune into that frequency, and have faith that in yourself, that whatever adversity you might come across, you are resilient and you will get beyond it. You will attain what you need to attain in those experiences to find success, whether in this particular opportunity or a new one. So we have the Three of Cups, and it was kind of in more of the reverse position than not. So I feel like you may not be surrounded by the nicest or kindest friend groups. They might not make you feel good about yourself. So assess who you're spending your time with. And again, I say friends, but that could be any social network or groups that you are a part of. So because the people you spend your time with is kind of also how you pick up on how you perceive the world. You're absorbing their energy, you're absorbing how they go about doing things. And if you don't necessarily believe in how they think or how they feel, then you have to kind of distance yourself from those people. So really take assessment, because the people that you spend the most time with could very well be affecting your confidence here. So again, that release, that might be part of that release energy. and tuning into whether or not you align with the people that you are spending time with. Final card to end the reading now. Thank you. So we have Ascending the Mountain, keep going forward, and bottom of the deck we have Fogged In, go slow, take time. So I really feel like this is a time to go slow, to take your time. Yes, you could only be seeing what's in front of you right now, but try not to rush through that energy. This is a call to maybe take a step back, to release some stuff that's no longer working. Could be people, could be the way you think about yourself, could be beliefs, any number of things. And to tune into a higher frequency, that higher self that is calling you to do something that is a little scary, a little bigger than what you feel you can achieve at this time. But I almost think that you do have what it takes to step into this new energy. You just need to build your confidence in doing so and kind of feeling the fear in doing it anyway. And also, just because you aren't achieving in leaps and bounds and reaching the peak of that mountain does not mean that you're not making progress. It just might not be the external progress that we're so used to seeing. I think there's a lot of internal progress that's happening here. And that kind of stuff, since it's intangible, it's really tough to put our finger on. So again, yes, keep moving forward, but don't forget to take pause and take inventory on what's going on with you as well. So we can't speed through in climbing the mountain. And what's interesting is that the Fool is mirroring this particular person here. So it's almost like you'll eventually get to the top. It's just going to take time and patience here as you move through, as you kind of gain information and gain clarity along your journey. Think of it as a journey and not necessarily a destination, because I feel like as soon as you stop taking your eye off kind of where you want to be and come back into the present moment, then I think you're going to see things a little bit differently and experience things a little bit differently. Because whenever we wish ourselves somewhere else, we're not really in the present moment, which kind of creates a little bit of suffering, because we want to be somewhere else. We don't want to be here. And we almost bypass the experiences that and the feelings that we're feeling. It's kind of like we're not able to look around when we're so focused on the wheel and so focused on moving forward. We can't really stop to look around about what we see around us and kind of, assess where we're at. And is this the right, is this the right direction? Is this the right people? Is this how I want to feel? Is this how I want to think? So I feel like this is a really good moment to pause and pause, but also keep going forward and keep moving through this energy. I just think that it's going to be a slower energy. And eventually you're going to start moving again and seeing some progress. But right now I feel it's about ascending that personal or spiritual mountain where, we are connecting back in with that confidence, connecting back in with our wishes, our faith, our dreams, and tuning in to something that's going to be a little more fulfilling for us in the future and allow us to show up a little more fulfilled within ourselves, within our spirit. So this is what I have for you, dear collective. I hope something resonated. You're welcome to comment and let me know and like this video. Private readings and newsletter sign-up links are in the description box below. And with gratitude, I'm sending you my love, and we'll see you in your next reading.